This is the bit, isn't it? That confuses me. It's like, did we choose to come here to get this sorted out, or is this just seems a little unfair, doesn't it? That you know, we seem to be here, and there's this parasite messing up our experience.
And you know, I know in my own life, the times that I've made major changes, it was like it became more painful not to change than to change. That was when I made big changes.
You know, it's this whole ridiculous narrative of, it's, you know, it's an unsafe world. There's not enough for you. It's scary. Everyone's out to get you. And clearly the old civilization was completely the opposite to that. It was all about empowerment, like literally.
Cosmic resonance, I think they called that one. Or
Cosmic resonance, that's a better name.
Real science, you can actually produce free electricity, and this is part of what Tesla was doing, is the differential between the top of the spire to the ground actually creates an electrical differential that you then connect to another wire that goes into the ground, your grounding. Put that into the third phase in your circuit, and then you have a bell ringing circuit, and that actually produces plasma electricity out of the air. It's real technology. These things actually function producing electricity. It's crazy.
The movies are the truth and the news is the lies. They've completely flipped it.
You know, when you look at everything with new eyes and you come across information like she was born into a very wealthy family with elite connections, you know, it means something very different now to me than it would have even a few years ago. And it's our free will that they've really also messed with, because we've been lied to and we react based on lies. Just getting their independence and end up in civil wars for 20, 30 years happens a lot.
Because we keep choosing to pick up the gun and use it on ourselves instead of building and uniting and accepting that we are one people, one spirit, one harmony on one plane that together, united, can achieve anything we dream of.
So do you want to, you know, wake up, or do you want to just keep going along because the change is too difficult?
And then give them pieces of information that they will then pursue themselves and look into, and then they'll wake themselves up.
I was going to mention, it's the whole red pill, blue pill of the Matrix. I mean, that of the movie. And you can consider that movie as a documentary because they're telling us something about what's happening here. So do you want to, you know, wake up, or do you want to just keep going along because the change is too difficult? Wake up.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Hope everyone out there is awake. Well, maybe not awake, maybe, geez, we need another word there, right? Funny words.
Having a good day.
Yes, doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hello.
Prayers
Thank you all for being here. 100 of you.
101 souls, and may everyone pray for those affected by the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. Quite a catastrophic event there.
It was pretty devastating, taking out a lot of people, a lot of infrastructure. And, of course, that's, going to have onward effects because there's already a lot of infrastructure issues in Europe. So, I don't think this change is going to stop anytime soon. I think it's all up to us to change and maybe step sideways of all this stupidity.
Indeed.
But anyway,
right?
There we go. And of course, Benny's going to be having another chat with Dutch, maybe talking about these volcanoes.
Oh, we all will be. It's a round table date on Valentine's Day that we have with him. Also, Paul.
Oh, nice.
And yourself and Curtis.
So I've actually got a date for Valentine's Day, man. That is so cool.
You
Can't
do,
believe it.
Right?
I hope someone brings me flowers, or else I'm going to be heartbroken.
Well,
As long as Sherry's there, she'll
Sherry
bring them
Ives
chocolate.
steak.
No doubt.
It'll be chocolate. They'll
Yeah, exactly.
have
Right.
to have chocolate. But
Yes,
yeah,
Jockey Monster.
speaking of Dutch, he
Yes,
did
very
predict that not in that spot per se, but that there was going to be that magnitude of quake happening, and it just so happened to go off on the exact opposite point of where he thought it was. But thus, he's still figuring out the cycle, but eons ahead of like the modern academia and all of that.
Yeah,
And then he was able to put out
I
the
was
warning
gonna
that the
say that.
second one was going to happen, and then sure enough it did. And just like, I don't understand why they suppress these developments and what could be helpful instead of attacking it.
Exactly. He predicted the last one. Where was it? Italy or somewhere? And they just banned him. They just suppressed all his information. And that's how they reacted to it. Is let's not tell anyone.
Attack him and try to debunk him. It's ridiculous. There was a two massive earthquakes actually in Turkey, southern Turkey, right on the border, I believe, with Syria. And there's videos of just entire blocks of apartments fallen, crushed.
Yeah.
People just like trying to rescue others out of collapsed buildings, and then more buildings collapsing on camera next to them. Just scary, horrible stuff.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. Yes, I mean, and the energy, God, I don't know. I've had no energy for the last few days. I've been very unmotivated, man. It's very hard to get stuff done. I don't know what's going. If it's just me, or if it's something else.
I feel that
else? Is everyone else lazy like me?
There's a weird full moon this month.
Well, actually, we just did go through the big Leo moon, didn't we? And well, I am a Leo, so maybe it affected me more. I don't know. Maybe I just need a good forking. What do you reckon?
Probably, yeah.
Tuning forks.
I do want to experiment with that and get into the tuning forks and all of that in a future episode of the
Science. Yeah. Well, she yeah, exactly. I mentioned it, and she's keen, man, because she's done a thesis on the biofield and the energy and how it interacts with people, and basically worked out that we're batteries, and everything like that. So she'd be really interesting to get on just for a different point of view, on the whole electricity energy thing. So that will definitely be coming up, as will lots of other bits and pieces. When I get around to them, I've had so much that I'm meant to do. I've got about 4 half-made videos, and I'm just not getting anything done. It's I've almost finished editing a video that I've been on literally for like 8 days or something.
That's a lot of work.
Hopefully that'll be out tomorrow. It is. Well, it's actually, it was a crappy recording, so it's actually been a bit of work, but
that's
I just can't sit down and 6 hours and do it. Editing, man, bloody editing is just it's the worst. It's just the worst. You got to hear yourself talk constantly,
right? Like, it's painful having to re-listen to oneself over and over again.
Yeah, it's how annoying it is to hear yourself go on and on and on.
Oh wow, it's for the best.
Menopause.
And luckily now I'm starting to learn how to edit a little bit too. So
indeed, yes, Bernie has been doing a few cuts and putting up some old footage as well. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, go across and subscribe. You'll find the link below in the description, or just Crypto Alchemist, and something will pop up.
Indeed.
So there we go. So what are we talking about today, Bernie? Now that we've heaved all of our crappiness out into the ethernets.
Today I was hoping to talk a bit about the Grand Canyon, and as well as Pyramids of America, the anomalies, and what I suspect Paul Cook, part of what he calls his blueprint of finding these geopolymer sites, is this layer of red sandstone, and that it seems that the entire Grand Canyon pyramid complex has many layers of this exact same red layer of sandstone. But yeah, so I want to get his opinion on it. But yeah, I got a bunch of pictures of
one,
right, and they're so huge. It's absolutely massive.
I mean,
so
this is what we're starting to find out. Is this stuff is literally, and how did we miss all this? I mean, it shows you how small our, you know, we all live in boxes, right? Like we all kind of thought we knew a bit about the world, but you know, clearly they don't, you know, promote traveling. So we just all sit and watch TV and go, yeah, that's out there, and it's weird. But I think at some point we're going to have to get Ben on as well and get into that as well.
Yes,
into his research.
I've actually been talking to Ben on Twitter here, and on the 9th, I believe, next Tuesday, we'll have him on early morning.
Oh, nice.
Early morning for me. Yeah, it'll be about like 8 hours later than right now. But so this is the Grand Canyon, and see this one path that goes through. You have to be escorted by a park ranger, I believe, and like pre-booked in, and can't go off the beaten path. And the rest of the area is completely off, blocked off, not allowed. You can't fly drones. There's a no fly zone, and you're not allowed, nobody's allowed to go exploring in it. And that is how they got away with
safety.
Right? Now it's all starting to come out.
They love to protect us, right? It's just like on the internet, all this stuff, all these passwords you have to keep changing when you don't want to, and all this, you know, you need a phone to identify this. You know, it's all for our safety, right? It's got nothing else, nothing untoward going on there. And of course, Rex Bear actually went out there.
Yeah,
and he tested the theory.
Yeah, and so
what happened? Was it cops turned up or a helicopter? I can't remember.
It was they crashed his drone, and then they also chased him off with an Apache helicopter showed up, as well as a bunch of spooks in the parking lot. Yeah, they had a literal attack helicopter fly up and do a flyover by them.
You know, it's like with Paul Cook's work, you know, all this stuff under, you know, I can't help but think like it's like the Matrix, you know, when he goes through the door and it's just all back corridors, and where the architect and that live. Like, is there a door? Like, is there like a whole nother world, literally, just behind all the mountains? You go in and there's just this, because there's stuff everywhere, man. There's weird stuff going on around here at the moment.
Right, and like, look at this. So this one's called Isis Temple, and then they've blocked off the entrance here now that used to be this giant cave, and it, you know, these 90-degree walls, it's step pyramid style. It just, how did water erode that? And then there's the rest of them that are just as temple-like, just as 90-degree straight angles, step pyramids, what seems to be some sort of capstone style on the top, and that they're literally named as monuments, as temples, as pyramids, and there are no access.
Yeah, it'd be good to get Dr. Longo's opinion on all that and the names, because you know, the ISIS, he talks about Mississippi being ISIS, and there's of course Tennessee, which is 10 Isis.
Yes.
Right? So there's all this, and of course they want us to think that it's different. They want us to think that Egyptians one thing, from Africa, and Islam is one thing from the Middle East, and Moorish is one thing from somewhere else. But I think it's all the same thing somehow,
it
or at
really
least
does look like that.
Different cultures that were interacting a lot. Yeah,
there was definitely global travel, or like cross sea travel, and like a seafaring civilization and trade throughout human civilization history. There's just no doubt
and this
about
is the
it.
question: was that if we're talking good people and baddies, right? Goodies and baddies. It's like, were the sea people that came in, because we know that there was the sea people, and were they the Phoenicians? Most people think they were, and they came in, and they called up the Confederacy of the Sea People, I think, in older books, and they came in and basically went into Europe and ravaged it and beat everyone up. So was that, is that the controllers coming in, or so is that the controllers? Because that, if you trace that back, it seems to go back to Hyperborea, right? And these people coming down after the flood. So, but there's this idea that's where the good people are. It's like, who did we get invaded? Are we the ones that came down? I just don't know. I mean, we definitely got invaded, but
they've erased it all and tried to turn everybody on everybody.
Yeah, that's basically it. Just hide the history and just move everyone around the realm, and then just tell them they're slaves. By the time they work it out, you've been in power for 200 years.
Exactly. But at least we're starting to figure it out. Free ourselves.
We are starting to figure it out. And of course, there's always lots of opposition to this. What's going on with the sky there? Is that?
That was a really old photo, I guess.
Oh my God. It looked like it had been cropped or something, yeah. Oh, look at that one on the top there. It's like almost a perfect cube.
Right?
Just straight up with there.
That one might be the Tower of Ra. It's just nutty. And we can only get this one view, this one area around the Isis temple, because the rest is literally off limits. So you can't see the 30 or 50 other temples that they have.
There could be doorways and stuff. Yeah,
that are up behind the valleys. And like, look at this. What the heck is this thing? Some sort of weird capstone on top of that one.
Maybe I was going to say maybe it's the capstone from Egypt. And of course, this is where we have the stories early 1900s of the explorers going in and finding a cave, right, a doorway into one of these places, and finding it full of Egyptian treasures.
Underground city, the Kincaid expedition or whatever.
That's right. It was a whole underground city that was talked about too.
Yeah, look, you can see what looks like caves coming out on this one too. Different one, and all these caves in this red sandstone layer, the one layer that Paul likes to talk about. Look at all the caves up in there, pretty much just filled.
Yeah. So this is probably where the answers are. This is what we need to do, man. We need to get out and start exploring again, and
exactly.
We've got to take down these people in helicopters. So we've got to get to the point where because I mean, when you stop and think about it, like, we were born here on this world, and there's people that tell us we can't go certain places. That's just insanity when you actually think about it.
A face right here, maybe.
No, they don't own that land. They don't own the earth. Oh, nice
almost
find.
looks like a carving there. It seems to be lots of these carvings,
And like, what is this? Is this a row of
Well,
carvings?
oh wow,
And they're like these
yeah.
different layers of what seem like step pyramids and ancient, super ancient, eroded old mega structures. And this red
And then
layer, I
cover it
believe, is
over.
that same layer that Paul is finding all of his stuff in.
That, because there was a story, I don't know if it's true, I saw a video on it, in Peru, that there was a landslide and there was a big like carved face underneath it.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone saw that, but I haven't been able to verify it. Did you see that?
I haven't seen that one. I've heard of several that turned out to be true in Colombia, though, with some pyramids, and in Ecuador as well.
Yeah, definitely pyramids. Yeah, I was going to say that the Teotihuacan, I think, the pyramid of the moon or something. It was literally a mound, just a mound, and they uncovered it, and it's a full-on masonry pyramid. So I'm just wondering, everything we're looking at, we could be talking a few feet of dirt and then, a whole nother world, right? We just don't know. What's that?
Exactly.
Was that a painting on the rock or something?
I'm not sure. It turned out to look like that after. Like,
of course, that looks like a pyramid up there. Almost looking like Thai. You know how the Thai, and they wear the hat and their stupas and things without the big pointy bit.
Yeah. This is the Orion Zone, all these different sites starting at the Grand Canyon and different cities that all line up with the Orion constellation there. And then this is the topographical map of the Grand Canyon itself that also shows each of these peaks align to all of the stars in the Orion constellation. Thus, there's just no way nature could do this. Each of these stars to scale in the sky. Oops. So this is a larger area of Arizona and I believe Nevada and whatnot, where the Grand Canyon is there, that also line up, and then the Grand Canyon itself topographically lines up. So multiple fractals of this alignment. And yeah,
interesting. And most things, it's like the as above, so below, right? Like they seem to be really into that and be mapping so much, like trying to reproduce the star systems down here. And of course, that's an interesting word again, isn't it? Stars. There's other forces trying to reproduce star systems, right? Just a different kind.
Indeed, the heavenly bodies. As above, so below, whatever is up there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, just interlude. I was just going through the comments because I saw one. Jill, you're in Turkey when it hit, were you?
Oh. Wow.
Glad you got out and you're safe. I saw another
Absolutely.
one. With your daughter. So we hope everything's okay.
Prayers are with you.
Okay, you've got your dog. That's good. Well, you've got your dog and your daughter. Yeah, so thoughts go out to you. Hope everything is as well as it can be and you're getting somewhere safe. Sounds like you're flying out to New Zealand. So yes, our thoughts are with you.
Thoughts and prayers and
back
sorry you had to go through that. Thank God you are safe. Another angle of Isis temple here. something that someone finds suspicious. Yeah, I'll definitely reach out and message you after the stream, Jill. Make sure you are okay. That's very scary. So right here, the red layer of this sandstone. And once again, we have what appears to be a giant cave entrance into it. And that is just off the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon, one of many of these supposed entrances in.
I mean, they could almost be eroded stairs, maybe even coming out of it, or who knows? It could be water. Wow, is that a hole there? That's huge.
Yeah, this is the huge hole that was originally there in Isis temple, and that they went in and decided to cover up and brick up, I believe, in the 60s. I could be mistaken on when it happened, but yes, they decided just to fill in this cave for aesthetic purposes.
For your safety.
For your safety, where nobody's allowed to go. It's out of bounds, but we'll just cover it up for your safety.
If you can make it to that doorway, then you're fine, right? Like if you can actually get there, then I don't think they need to worry about your safety, because that's like really out of the way. But this is the thing, right? It's all for our safety, and if it can't be for our safety, then it's got to be a golf course that you can't dig up, or a national park, where it's illegal to do anything. Like, so this whole realm is really locked down. We're not really allowed to go and look and see where we are. We're just not. Oh,
now you can see that it's patched up.
Thank you very much, Searcher. We appreciate your contribution and support. Thank you very much.
Another angle of this guy. Yeah, there it's all covered up.
I don't know. There we go. And I mean, imagine the work would have taken to get in there and fill that up. That wouldn't have been an easy job.
I believe these actually are Australian glyphs, not.
That's Australia. Yeah, that's the Blue Mountains. Yes, indeed it is. And it was deciphered, and it tells the story of a prince coming from Egypt with a couple of boats, and he had his courtesan sort of dudes. But I think he got sick. I don't think he hurt himself. Maybe he hurt himself, but he ended up dying basically.
Maybe it was a snake bite. I think
they wrote a little story about it. Maybe it was a snake bite. Yeah, but he died, and there's a tomb there. And that's not supposed to be there, of course. And it's the same thing, right? That's just ignored and by the government. And if it's not ignored, it's just the story officially is. It was just a group of teenagers up there camping in the 70s, and they decided to carve hieroglyphs, because Egypt was pretty well known, ancient Egypt in Australia in the 70s.
And they knew the proper
and then it was, they did such a good job that it's actually decipherable. So, yeah.
Exactly, right? Like, just ridiculous. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you very much for your support, your contributions. Thank you.
One more angle of this.
And then we have another door, right?
Doorway
to the underworld. And I mean, how many stories do we have of the underworld, right? And it's kind of interesting that they sort of say that's where the bad entities are, right? And at the moment, we seem to be ruled by negative entities, and they seem to have blocked up all the pathways to go and see what's down underneath us. Sometimes you learn a lot more about what you're not allowed to look at, right? Yeah, I mean, they're protecting their own, right? It makes all this stuff. I mean, the more you look into it, it just all fits together. I mean, with the programming that we're given, it doesn't. But you smash at that for a few years, and you start to realize that, hang on, it does make sense.
Right? Underground cities everywhere. Just cities built on top of cities, resets after resets. And like, look at this. That's a step pyramid like no other. And there's some other just on a mega ancient scale.
That's the thing. Like that top bit could be the last civilization building, but it starts way down, with Titans, right? Building these, because shout out to Paul Cook again. He had the live with Old World Florida and Waking Up with Analog. Go check out all those channels. And Ben was talking about a wall they found, I think it was in Mississippi, and he said they'd gone down 60 feet and still couldn't find the bottom. But the further they went down, the bigger it got, the bigger the blocks got, the wider the wall got. So literally, it's like, this started with, Titans, 60-foot people kind of thing, and they were building stuff, and then they got wiped out or whatever, and the next smaller people came and just built on top. And then we're here, oh God, what they reckon we're in the 7th world? Who knows? Not 7's in this one, that's for sure.
Indeed. I believe this one is actually one that was found in the Grand Canyon. I might be mistaken there. There's one in this that I downloaded in this collection that is. So I think that was it, but might be another one that pops up. And look at this one. This, again, looks like a square step pyramid on top of a mega structure.
Heaps of them have those big sort of long stretchy bits coming out, the bigger underneath bits, don't they? Like they're radials kind of thing. And
it looks like it's really pixelized, but it almost seems like there's a bunch of entrances or caves throughout that fair amount could be
even
shadows.
Down in the ground there. It looks like a wall going through the middle of it, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
Like halfway down there. There. Oh. And it looks like there's a doorway in one of the wall bits. And that would be massive, right? Like that'd be huge at those. I mean, that looks like a wall, man. I don't know. We can't zoom in much.
It does. It really.
It's what it looks like. And then look at the bottom. The bottom definitely looks like a sheer wall, man. That's like a. Look how smooth that at the very bottom, how smooth the flat bits are.
It's
insane.
Like
a finished
Nature
bloody
doesn't make
building.
That.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Sure, there's a lot of natural erosion from 50,000 or 20,000 or 10. Probably more than 10,000. These are probably super ancient, maybe even hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Who knows how many resets or how far back civilization really goes, and especially that of the giants and titans and everything else. But that the overall structures and buildings and foundations of it all definitely is manufactured, intelligently built material, terraformed on a mega scale, macro scale.
Yep.
That's what
it looks like.
Reason they don't let us into these areas.
Oh gosh, there's so many comments. 328 of you watching. Thank you for joining us. We're currently in the Grand Canyon, asking the grand question.
That almost looks like a wall of
man-made or natural?
Red wall limestone. Look at that. That right there seems like a giant wall that was at one time built, maybe to dam the water in, would be a purpose for it. You have these giant dams. This area fills up that it's actually like a lake, and that there's a certain level of water and yeah, just a lake-going civilization as opposed to this dry desert.
And Paul is back in the UK, by the way, Jill. If anyone was wondering, he's not in Malta at the moment, though he is planning to be back there in 6 weeks, I think.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if there's anything going on in Malta too, gosh, thoughts go out to anyone who's been affected. I mean, the Earth is shrugging, right? It's waking up. Maybe a good time to get away from that ring of fire.
Yes.
Who knows? Or we just don't know, right? It's like the question we're asking right here about the Grand Canyon. How much of it is natural? How much of it is man-made, right? It's just the same question.
And now here's Teotihuacan in, I believe, close to Mexico City.
Yes.
And that these were originally covered in mica, and then they were stripped, and then they had like trees planted on them and were hills, and then they were like covered as just artificial or natural for a couple hundred years, only to then be uncovered again and discovered to be giant pyramid complex. The city of the gods.
Indeed. I have that picture. I'm just having a quick look for it. How fast am I? There it is. But I'm good. Where are we? So I've got that picture too when you're done. Whoa, where's that?
This is South America, and these terraced mountains and ancient grain storage. I believe this is pretty close.
What is that? What they're calling it?
Yeah,
they're calling it grain storage and okay, not housing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What? So what? They just like store their grain on the side of a cliff.
This is like up in a mountain, like kind of by like Nazca, but up in the mountains, like the desert mountains. It's just crazy. And we got these
and all with sticks, man. They didn't have the wheel in South America.
So look at this right here and how similar the top is compared to what we were just looking at the Grand Canyon. Different lighter color,
and the whole
up. Something's eroded off, like clearly these were statues or something. And now they've eroded down, and the darker step pyramid up. Another one.
And yeah, the whole, and that one too, the whole sort of step construction with the square or the rectangle on top. That's what we were just looking at. Just covered, like, so you can imagine that, if a helicopter went by and just dropped a massive ton of dirt on it, what would we be looking at?
And then here's a step
there's one there. Is that China?
This is Indonesia.
Okay, yeah, quite a few in Indonesia too. It looks like there's another one in the background too.
Yeah.
We're finding out these things everywhere, right? And in school, sure, depending on how old you are, 30 or 40 years ago, it was just pyramid, only Egypt that had pyramids.
Exactly. And here's the Bosnian pyramid, the main one, when it was just a mountain in the background.
Wow.
But it is a pyramid and a pyramid and a pyramid that they have terraformed on a massive scale the surroundings. Right, just a mound. It's just a hill. No, there's a pyramid under there. This one, I believe, is in Rome.
Thank you very much, Searcher One, for your support. Some old Tartarian maps show pyramids, castles, and other structures all over that area. Wonder if that's a good thing. A good point. I was looking at a map yesterday. I was looking, and there was a city there. I thought, and actually, Luke's done a little bit of this.
Yeah, I was going to mention. I'm going to be going into
is going in and getting yeah, like going, there's a city there on an old map. Let's go and see what's there now, and trying to start to,
Yeah,
work
we'll do
out
an episode with Luke
how
here in the
accurate I guess
next
they
week
are.
where we'll get together with
Yes, we'll
him
do.
and look at those in modern day Siberia and try and find those pyramids and those ancient cities that are up there in the lost Tartarian area.
Okay.
This is a
Can do
Nevada
some
Pyramid Lake.
live streaming on the Googles.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Do you know what that is? That's clearly giant worms have been feeding on limestone, and they've just left,
Right?
left their mark.
Just giant worms.
Well, where is
that
this?
was
The USA?
Yeah, this is Pyramid Lake, USA.
Wow. Have you seen that? Oh, let me see if I can find it. There's a
And then,
beach.
see, this is the Sphinx that's supposedly on Pyramid Lake as well. Absolutely, they're most likely still covered up in Siberia. Just like the Chinese and Indonesian pyramids, Korean pyramids.
Yep.
Most pyramids they've got covered up.
mean, Graham Hancock kind of showed what happens, what was it, 10, 15 years ago when he was trying to first get into the pyramid, and it's a different kind of pyramid. It's a stacked up pyramid, but the government like fully closed it down. They sacked the architect, the archaeologist guy from the government, and it took him like 10 years to get back there because they just will not let anyone look unless it's a Smithsonian, and then they just pick stuff up and go throw it in the ocean.
Yeah, right. Just dump it off in the ocean. Nothing to see here.
Bloody maritime law, I tell you. What's this?
That's another one in South
Have you heard of that beach? There's a beach. It's in New York, and it's got these old carvings on it. Like,
yes, I know. We need to find that again. It's so crazy. Straight up kings and like
just trying to
Viking
ancient
stuff
carvings, New York. It looks. The carvings look a lot like that mountain. Is it? It's in Turkey. What's it called? Mount Nimrut. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that one. And it's got the big heads. Yeah, that's kind of look Vikingish. Exactly. Yeah, that's the same kind of stuff that's on this beach in New York, and it's all, of course, smashed up like it's used for like a what we call a groin, where they put lots of rocks there to sort of put a bank on the beach. So they've just gone in there and destroyed something and just put all the rubble on the beach, but there's all these carvings in it. It's just, this stuff is everywhere.
It is. I've actually been lucky enough to visit this Chichen Itza myself one time. I really want to go back. It was.
That's the snaky one,
epic. Yes, it is. But then
so on the full moon, is it the equinox?
The solstices, the snake goes on it.
Very cool. And how do you design that, right? This is the other thing, is they go, no, it's just the natives. And you go, well, how did they work out how to build it so that on the solstice twice a year, when the sun's in a certain spot, it makes a snake appear on the steps?
Right, exactly. It's so nuts.
So it's not just the construction, and we kind of say this about the buildings too. It's even if they can replicate them to look like them, will they have free energy functioning? Will they have water systems? Will they have inbuilt sort of flow systems? No, of course not. There's a lot more to all this stuff, but people just love to write it off as the physical. It's just what you can see, right? We can use bricks. Yeah, well,
nothing to see here. Just some copper chisels.
Definitely not. Definitely not a stairway, right? That looks like it's been built on top of an old, bigger stairway.
Yeah, right. And like up top, once again, the erosion and how much that even looks kind of like the Grand Canyon style ones too, just on a smaller style. size and different building material. And these are all ones that have been dug out,
man,
that they found just covered with trees growing on them and stuff.
And how many mounds do we hear about, from the USA, right? Like, there's literally a narrative from the USA about the mound builders. So what does that mean? That all those mounds were actually pyramids, and they were just smashing them down? Because I think they've destroyed more than 50% of them in the USA, and most of it was done by Walmart. Apparently, there's 7 Walmarts sitting on top of what used to be one of these mounds. Like, Walmart were right in there, just destroying it all. So don't shop at Walmart, people.
Choose with your wallet. Straight sticking out of the jungle again in Guatemala. Like, well, what it would have taken.
Clearly, if you're out there hiking, and you might want to climb up on it, maybe get a better view. And that's clearly what it's for. It's a lookout.
Just mind blowing. It would have been just giant lost cities reclaimed by the jungle.
And just the amount of masonry and stuff that goes into these, let alone putting them together, but just the volume of materials is just ridiculous. Ooh.
It is.
What's that?
Then these are the mud brick ones of Peru that supposedly the Spanish washed away, trying to they diverted the waters or rivers or something to try to get the gold that was supposedly hidden inside of them. But there's some of the biggest pyramids were in Peru in this area. And they just are left in ruin like this today. And not much attention is paid to them. But
that's the story. But no doubt you're not allowed to go and dig there to see if there's actually a pyramid under there. So no,
yeah, exactly.
We told you it's mud, dude.
There was supposedly there still is hundreds of them there, and that there once was thousands. I believe this is another Guatemalan one. Chichen Itza again. Oh, here's one of the mounds.
Oh, there we go. So that's in the US, and these things are everywhere. So I mean, look at that. Clearly, that's the pyramid structure that's been buried. But the thing now, this is history, right? There's a whole, like bloody force of academics that are, studying the mound builders, right? So you can't touch that because no, it's the mound builders. How dare you? That's destroying our history as we smash these statues over here, he says in a snide remark. But this is the thing, right? So that they've got everyone on this false narrative thinking, oh, this is your history. It's just they used to pile dirt into big piles. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
There's masonry constructions under them. Yeah, exactly. They're everywhere. And it's just so annoying. People, would pay money and go up there and be all like, oh, the mound builders, oh, and it's just this complete lie.
The pyramid builders.
You can definitely see the similarities. And oh wow, I was just about to say, like, are these other star systems? That look like it could be. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they were definitely dealing with energy of some kind, and energy from above as well as below. Right? As above, so below. And this is, the other thing, with religion, especially that, the Christian religion is, they tell you astrology and all this kind of stuff is really bad, right? It's all linked with, magic and evil, and but it's all through the Bible, and that's what clearly all this old world stuff is based on. That clearly, it's just a suppression of knowledge again. Oh. Oh,
All right.
are we supposed to be reading that? There we go.
No, indeed, there's
So I did
pyramids from all over.
from all over, and I have one picture. I feel a bit.
So there's a couple sites I couldn't save
you
from,
know.
but so I'll just share the pictures that they didn't let me save. But look at this, like what we were just looking at in Guatemala there, reclaimed in the jungle, those step pyramids, and then the big things on top, like that, pretty similar, if not identical, just on a much larger scale.
Indeed. And there's another one. And just look at that. The official narrative is that was all caused by a river.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And when you look at the size of the river, it's a very, 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 very tiny little river. The whole thing, right, all carved out by a river. I mean, over millions of cajillions of years as well.
Yes, just somehow was able to do these perfect squared, rectangled, 90-degree angles in these pentagram, hexagram
angles,
pyramids.
man. I mean, I see it all the time along riverbanks and shorelines. Always got right angles. It must be natural.
Like, look at these. Like, that's a pyramid. That's got to be a pyramid. That's a building. Oh, we got caves.
And what's underneath it all? Is that, are
Right,
there
like,
people inside
cave,
those rocks looking back, looking at them, going, they're going to find us, man. They're going to bring all their weird bloody TVs and iPhones down here. Don't let them in.
It's that same red layer, too. Oh, we got another cave over there.
Red layer, iron oxide, of course. Not necessarily blood, but who knows? That could tie into the narrative, right? That we hear about titans and things, and deluges and destructions, and it's a very strange history. This place. It's like a video game, seriously, and it's just like level 1, level 2. But instead of leveling up, you level down. You get smaller each level.
Yeah, really, right? Like just 12,000 years ago in the megafauna compared to now, all the giants gone. But before then, there was the Titans, most likely.
Yeah, and so all this megafauna, literally could have been, who knows, it could have been less than 11,000, 12,000 years ago, and that's what they tell us of the dinosaurs. There's just megafauna of, iguanas and crocodiles and shit. If you look into it, there's literally a dinosaur that's called, crocosaur or something, literally the giant crocodile, because it's just a giant crocodile. And the rest of them, you're not allowed to see them, and the other thing about bones, a lot of people don't understand is you see these big skeletons, and people have this idea that these, fossil hunters have actually found complete skeletons. Never, ever, ever been anything even close to a complete skeleton found of a dinosaur. And most of the time, it's literally one bone, and a shard of it, not even a full bone. And then they extrapolate from this one little bone, this whole mega bloody beast from it. And they, build it out of plaster cast and make you think it's a real thing. It's just all crap. I don't know what there's no end about.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I'm going to show my picture because I am going. There you go. So that's the Chichen Itza one.
No, that is Not Chichen Itza.
Wait,
That is
wait.
Teotihuacan in Mexico City.
Oh, the
Teotihuacan.
moon, the pyramid of the moon. Is that, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one that looks like a circuit board. That picture, that meme that goes around. That's Teotihuacan, isn't it?
You got it from above.
And I do have some pictures. If anyone would like to peruse them, I've got
Absolutely. Let's go.
I've got lots of pictures.
Let's take a look. See at candles.
Half of them. Always. Okay. Let's see what comes out. Looks like half of them. Have you noticed all these sites now that they're saving their pictures in these weird formats, so it's harder to download them, and you've got to change formats and stuff, and it's getting very annoying.
It's very annoying.
It is. I just looked at my file, and half of them aren't in the right format. But here we go. So this is St. Louis, 1904. The World's Fair. Now this one built cost when I can speak, took 2 years to build. It was supposed to be open in 1903, so started in 1902, and 2 years, right? And you can see this is one building, and all down here. Here we have the Civic Pride Monument. Oh my God, that's not very good civic pride. We've got to do with a big club here about
like, how is that very civic?
Looks like how is that civil or prideful? Maybe I guess she's bonking him on the head with this caduceus looking thing. Maybe she's trying to heal him. The Civic Pride Monument. Oh, look at that! Look at that! They got a V for a U in 1904 in the USA. Very interesting. And this, so this is apparently built, this building, everything in here, built for the World's Fair. So this is the plaza, and you can see the size of this pillar, right? We can see the bottom of it, but pretty big. And this building, I mean, what to say, right? It's big. Oh. Looks like this photo got a bit burned. We see this type of building. There's a lot of these buildings around, very similar to the Canadian Parliament Library.
Yes, good point on that.
All the world's fairs seem to have those. So that's, to me, that's a kind of machine that has a function. That's why we see the same thing everywhere. Got this arched wall. See this big curved wall behind it? There's one in the Vatican, and you see them a lot. They're like these sort of curved walls. And of course, everything oversized, right? Look at this statue. And time lapse. We've got ghosties. And I mean, not to mention, the fountains. Like this is St. Louis, and you see it's fountains basically from here all the way down and into the canals. And I don't know if it's in here, but I did have a construction photo of the canals. But it didn't look like this. They were using wooden boards for the edge of it. They didn't look very watertight either. So this is the Grand Canal, called the Grand Basin. Again, this is Louisiana Exposition, 1904. Got some people here. I mean, oh, why is everyone standing in a square or a rectangle? That's very weird. What's going on? What is going on there? Maybe it's because there's a parade going around the outside. Very well-trained people. Ferris wheel, the first Ferris wheels, of course, were at World's Fairs. I think it was Paris, the very first one, 1880s. And the seats in the first ever Ferris wheel held 50 people. if you want to believe that.
Like what?
Yeah, I know, right? Like literally the first Ferris wheel ever was the biggest and best we've ever had, and everything's just since then it's just been degrading. Here again, like museum with a V, as we see in a lot of old books. And up here,
Very
Griffin, it doesn't look the best sort of quality, that carving.
Lincoln. Does it say
Very
Lincoln?
Moorish looking. Lincoln Museum.
On the left.
Abraham. Very interesting. Abraham, right? Abrahamic religions. Of course, when you're building a well, you know, all these structures, because this is all freshly built apparently, you would build definitely on an angle, I think. That's definitely what you would do.
What? Right? And the building in front on the bottom right also looks almost mud flooded.
Yeah, even this one's just, yeah. And this one's flat, but this looks like a, you know, newer building. They probably did build that. And that's the thing with these World's Fairs, that, you know, they definitely built some buildings, and they definitely refacaded a lot of stuff. But I don't, do I believe that they built this canal? No.
No, yeah.
There's no evidence of it anywhere. And, you know, we've got to understand that at this time, this is when we're told that people were building houses without indoor plumbing. You know, all the toilets and stuff from bathrooms were outside, but these dudes are building these massive, you know, fountains everywhere. And of course, electricity, right? Introduced at the World's Fairs again, as was everything. But what we do is these World's Fairs, like literally within 10 years of the light bulb being invented, and they're covered. Like, where'd all the light bulbs come from? Where'd all the electricians who put them in and all the cabling and everything, you know? You
Just
don't get an industry overnight. I mean, it's from nowhere. And some of them, you know, we've seen the pictures of the Eiffel Tower with the spotlights. Like, there's some powerful lights, right? But we're told, oh no, they were just these, you know, old first phase, crappy kind of light bulbs. Here, of course, is one of these fountains. But yeah, no one could have a toilet in their house, but they could build fountains like this just, you know, for a year, and then they were going to rip it all up. Looks like there's some fireworks there too. There you go. That's the kind of energy. So this is 1904. Right, it's just
That's
lit
amazing.
up, like, you know.
Definitely beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Like the rulers of this time, they don't really get into beauty, do they? They like their gargoyles. They don't really get into this kind of stuff. In fact, they love to smash this kind of stuff over and replace it with squares.
Exactly.
So here again, look at this. Look at the size of this building. Now, is that wood? What's going on here? Is that? Looks like if they built a wooden wall or something around the outside? And this is one of the pavilions where you see this is all covered. That's actually one roof. You can see it's just got bits popping up with windows in them, and that bit looks like it's open. So that it's all cut. So that's literally the whole thing. And see how big the people are, right? It's a big building. And then, you know, that's just one, right? Then we got this one and this one and this one. And I mean, it's just, look how far it goes back. There's one way out there.
That's the gate in.
Here's
wow.
Another big dome. I mean,
just
huge. Yeah, right. Okay. So these things were massive. And what's the point of making there's no way you could see even a quarter of this, because you'd just be walking all day, because it's, you know, it's so big.
Mind-blowing stuff.
Pretty insane, isn't it? And of course, this is just one of, you know, I don't know how many, tens at least, of these things that were all across the realm.
Exactly.
It's hard to see what that picture is. Bad exposure.
Railway.
I mean,
areas.
clearly everything here is still so I'm sure they did a lot of cleaning up work, clearly, right, to get it from this, which is probably more like what they found, to this. I mean, it's just completely cleaned up, refacaded, but, you can still see some of this stuff is old and weathered, but some is brand new and white. Right, the White City.
Very good point.
And look at this thing at the back, man. Look at... It's a lot of bricks being laid. Imagine how many bricks just in that photo had to be laid. Like, seriously. And that's not including, all these statues, walkways, stairs, fountains.
And the aquifers for the fountains and stuff. The canal systems.
Water had to come from somewhere. Yep. There were tram systems and things, and the electricity. I mean, it's a massive. I mean, just look at the amount. Look at all these towers, and look, it's just overboard. I mean, look at the amount of statues just here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then there's another 20 over here. And here you go, another 3. I mean, it's just insane.
Like, why would you build something so magnificent just to tear it down in a year? Like, it's
exactly. And even if it was originally like as a a temporary thing, if you ended up and you built this, you'd be like, well, let's not rip it down, right? I mean, there should have been outcries everywhere, which clearly no one knew about it. It's just...
And yeah, the fountains.
I mean, this is what cities should be. Yeah. Imagine if this is what our cities look like. It might be a bit more fun living in them, right? Oh, did someone... what have they blurred out? Yeah, that looks like it's been painted. It's something out.
Weird.
What's that in the back? Who knows? Oh, World Photoshop. And then you get other buildings that do look, smaller, like they were probably constructed, but definitely, not those massive. I mean, this is a castle,
right? Like,
clearly.
Gonna build a castle.
And this apparently became Washington University Administration Building. So this is still standing, as far as I know.
Oh, but
so again, all made of plaster. Yeah, all temporary, made of plaster. But in Australia, we have 3 still standing exhibition buildings made of plaster, apparently. This is, and you see all of these, right? And this is kind of a bit of proof for giants. This is a wine barrel, but these things are massive.
What?
They're like 10, 12 meters tall. They're huge.
No,
And, all they need to do is go in and paint, their in on there. And I'm not sure. Oh, this is inside. This is glass work. I mean,
what?
It looks like they went in and raided, one of the houses they found or something. Yeah, the robbers, right? They just went in and stole it all. And then started industries. And this is the thing, someone would have been handed this industry, one of their friends who would now be, the glass king of whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
Look at these buildings. So again, this isn't plaster. There's a ladder going up here. This looks like corrugated iron or something, this roof. And what is this thing? Look at the vent on the top of it. Looks like a big, combustion thing, doesn't it?
Right, yeah. It could be like a cooling tower or something like that. Or burning tower. Like,
yeah. Oh, here we go. It's glassworks. They're calling it glassworks. So there you go. It is some kind of heating thing in there. This is a great shot, right? This is a swimming race, 1904. And they actually had the Olympics are tied to the World's Fairs as well. The first modern Olympics was at a World's Fair, and I believe this one was tied to Olympics as well. But this is just a swimming race. But look what these guys are standing on.
just some boarded up
Just
wood.
a few bits of wood, right? But look at everything else that they've built in this World's Expo, right? All the man-made shorelines and all the, everything, right? But when it comes to swimming, no, we'll just chuck a few bits of wood together and throw it in the water. I mean, it's clearly it's a different level of tech. Yeah, it's clearly it's not this, right? This is the thing. If they built this, why didn't they say, well, we're only open for 9 months, so we know we're having because it's only there for 9 months, right?
Right.
So they
Why
knew they were
didn't
having
they
a swimming
build
race.
out a swimming deck of
Right? Why is it there a bit? Yeah, exactly. Why isn't it built in there? A nice little swimming deck. I mean, come on. They remembered to build this thing. Is that a dome? It looks like the bloody Epcot Center. And look at the size of this bloody Ferris wheel. Ferris iron wheel.
there.
I wonder why they're
Right? I was
called
just
iron
thinking
wheels. Ferris.
there's got to be something more to it where it had to do with
Exactly.
covering
Hardened
collecting energy.
machinery, maybe. Yeah. I mean, and the first seats, that we're thinking they might have been buckets, like the big scoops we see, with buckets of ore at mining plants and stuff. Who knows? Cars, right? Again, 1904. All right. So clearly they had now I'm guessing these are internal combustion. But the thing is they had the cars, right? And then Henry Ford, they might have been, and then Henry Ford, right, pops up 5 or 6 years later, and then suddenly all cars are his, right? All with the internal combustion engine. He basically got handed that industry. He got, here you go, you have the car industry, right? And then someone else, Firestone, it's like, well, you make the tires. It's like the robber barons. They were stealing all this old tech, working out how they could make it unfree, and then giving it to their bloodlines, basically, so that they could all, become the rulers. Look at this. Is that just joint? Is that just stuck on there? See that?
Yeah.
Looks like an old. This could be old, and that's new. Just sort of stuck on,
Well, facading.
And a bit of facading. Yeah, you gotta have naked boobies, man. Japanese, Chinese, cliff dwellers. This is where the troglodytes live.
Yeah,
I mean, this is interesting, and this is
so fascinating.
Yeah, this is what we did. And then this again, look, this looks like brickwork up here, like proper. I mean, stonework with mortar, which means this isn't.
Those are who lived in the
construction, right?
It's of the Grand Canyon, right? Just the troglodytes of the
yeah. Good point. And you can see these are clearly
Mr. Rife, great question. And sorry, I just want to bring this up. Yeah, YouTube demonetized me after my interview with Dutch Sense conveniently. Still trying to figure that out. But as of right now, I only have PayPal for donation.
Demonetized at the moment.
Yeah, they took away my newly monetized
if you want BurnEye. They're not making it easy for us. I mean, my stats literally got cut in half last month. It's just.
I seen that. I was like, yay, look at all my numbers on Campbell's channel. And then I'm like, what the hell? They've gone down by half.
Literally just all in half. I don't know who Elon Musk is, but just buy YouTube, Elon, whatever you are, and fix it, and then do whatever you do. Just sack everyone. That's all we want. Yeah, so this stuff, cliff dwellers, they had, human zoos. They had all these different, they basically introduced culture through the World's Fairs. So this would have been the cliff dwellers. I think I got some more pics. This is just lots of people and some people on horses with sticks. And again, look at the size of this building. What is that line? Almost looks like a net, doesn't it? See these? I don't know what that is. Oh, it could just be vanilla skying. This looks like it's been drawn on. I don't know. Doesn't it? Who knows?
Is that like an army back? Oh, look at that. Campbell got a nice donation. Thank you, Mr. Rice, supporting the work.
Oh. Thank you. I can't see at the moment. I'll have to swing back. Oh my God. Thank you very much. Rife Technologies.
We will have Matthew on.
We'll put that to good use. Yes, we'll have to have you on. Yes, I have not yet had the pleasure. I've seen you do a few interviews or a few chats. This also is a stereoscopic photo, so if you put your nose on your screen, right on that black line, it will go 3D for you. I didn't get the whole book. So this is, again, right, this is the kind of thing they put up as a construction fund. Yes, there are more with scaffolding and that, blah, blah, blah. But this is one of them. And look, I mean, it's clearly a completed building. And it looks like they're just cleaning it up. Like they're leveling it off, scraping it out. Then they come in and they do all their landscape gardening.
Sometimes at most, it's like they're rebuilding a roof.
Yeah. Most of them got re-roofed, but not to mention this is also a mud flood, right?
Yeah, look at that. They're digging the mud out from around the building.
Yeah, but it's like, no, that's enough, guys. Don't go any lower. We can see half the window. You've done well. Again, this is the entrance gate. This is now part of the it was the World's Fair Administration building, and now it's University Hall. I think Washington University or something. But again, right, look at all these lights. Who made these? 1904. Most people didn't, still had horse and carriage. And of course, these bloody crowns, man, they're everywhere. Starting to see them everywhere. And what is that on top of it? What's that? Oh, okay, American flag. What's it?
Flag,
okay, it must be strung across here. Okay.
Yeah. Look at all those lights. That's a lot of lights.
It's a lot of lights. And this again, this is, so you can see this is clearly like an obelisk shape, right? But it looks like it's been covered and it's had cheapish kind of facading put on it, as does the, look at this statue, right? Look at this bit. It's like they didn't even finish it. It's not the quality that we see. Like even this one looks like it could be an original one. I'm not sure. It doesn't have, they're normally more intricate than that, but that is definitely a lot better than that. And all this facading as well, right? These wings, I think it's just all facading. And it's like Paul talks about, they go in and they just coat up, cover all the stuff he's finding. Looks like they did the same thing here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just to make it look like
double meaning of a facade.
And this was, I think, the call of creation or something. The creation on the pike. Well, there you go. Something about creation. This one too. So there were airships is another thing that was pretty much introduced from the World's Fairs, but they weren't really airships. They're just really Russian air balloons. I think this is actually where it came from. I think it was a time traveler from the World's Fair popped into the sky over the US a few days ago, and this was it. So the spying on us clearly. But again, look at this. They've got this big shed built to house an airship, but it's just in the mud and the dirt. They're trying to get it out, and it's literally just stuck in this hole in the dirt. Big, you know, it's not finished, is what I'm trying to say. They're trying to tell us they built it, but they were running it before everything was finished. This is one of the interiors. The French salon interior, the French pavilion. So, okay, so they built this. Who painted this picture?
And who painted that on a temporary plaster building?
Yeah, so it could be knocked down. And the ceilings, all the ceilings are painted, all the architraves. I mean, and that's the thing, right? What kind of, you know, trades, because clearly to build this, we're talking good tradesmen, like artisans, right? What kind of artisan would go in and you know, put their skills and their trade and create something that they know is going to be destroyed? Everything would be half-assed.
Right? Like
it just doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't be covering every inch.
But look at these pictures, right?
The roofs, all original.
And look at the size of the pictures too, man. Like, yeah, and you know, all the furniture, you know, would have had to be made because it's custom furniture for this room, you know. And this is the things that they don't like to talk about, right? Talk about the building. Who made all the furniture? Who painted this? Who made all the light fittings? Who made all the light bulbs? How they build the canals? Who did the plumbing system? And they even had a hall from the Galveston Flood Hall. That was an attraction. Oh, that's a bit rude, isn't it? But again, you know, and we see these buildings everywhere, which is the other thing, you know.
Yeah,
how come all these worlds buildings, yeah, they match the buildings that we see in our cities today. This is inside that massive hall we were looking at. And this is Heinz. All right. So again, Heinz first came out of the World's Fairs. All right. H.J. Heinz Company. This is where everything was introduced. You know, all the Indiana, it's all the states, right? The state logos. Look, they tell you who was there, what it's all about. You know, literally, they were Indian culture. This is, you know, probably Chinese or something.
Yeah. Classic Chinatown.
I don't know
the starting of it. They had
don't know about this one, if it's new or old. I'm sorry.
It seemed like they had like the Greek zone, the Italian zone, the Chinatown. Like this is where it all started, essentially.
Yeah.
Was these world fairs.
Yeah. To split and say everything was different, right? It's all these different cultures around the world, and that's why we have all these different influences. And then, of course, they say, well, you know, this building that looks like it's from, you know, Rome, and that was just the Rome revival period, right? They were just copying them later on. Of course, it all burnt down. Most of these buildings, arson, right? Razed to the ground. And this is, again, inside one of these halls, man. Look at this stuff. So, even, you know, it's not just the buildings again. Like, this is, I mean, what even is this? Lots of bottles or something. But just ridiculous. Pyramid Power. Indiana. So this is obviously
right?
the Indiana Pavilion. Fleur de Lis.
What is that pyramid
covered up
in there?
Tech.
Looks like it.
Good shape, isn't it? And I mean, this, you know, look at, I mean, how often do we see this in the old world on a pedestal, a column with a statue on it? They've just covered it in their Missouri stuff. Right?
And this is like their tech industry display, like how it's a commercial sales tech building. It's got to be something. Oh, we love you, Matthew and Julia. Yeah. Hope you guys are doing good.
Oh,
I believe they're at an event or setting up for one.
Oh, Julia. Oh, hello. Thank you. Yes. Should I say hello or should I say hello? Hello, Julia.
Hello, Julia. Hello,
There we go.
Julia.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure you're getting film for us too down at that your expo, showing off all the rough technologies we want to see. Look at this. I mean, look at that's a lot of light bulbs, man. A lot of light bulbs. And something someone else mentioned is you never see a blown light bulb in any of these pictures. Like you don't see gaps, do you?
Good point. There's not a single burnt out one. Everyone seems to be working.
Oh, wow. Isn't that a telling picture? Look at that.
And then
Big wheel next to this little building right on the water.
I was literally just
exactly.
thinking,
I think that could be pumping something.
Or were these Ferris wheels our very first? They recovered them, they turned them into that attraction, but were they originally in an old version of a windmill or the wind energy harvesters that we now have, the turbines? Could that have been an old wind turbine? Yeah. Quite easily.
Yeah, could have been. I mean, those buckets could have been scooping up water somehow. I don't know, or it could have been churning water. I'm just saying, just because it's literally on the water here. Right?
Yeah, on the water too. Good hydraulic. Yeah, hydroelectric.
Definitely looking machine-like. Definitely looking machine-like. Because the other thing, even this, right? Story is built for the World's Fair, and after the World's Fair, they dismantled it. So what's the point? This is I think this is like, what I've got here, the Alps. Yeah, so this is the Alps. So this again is trying to introduce, the different cultures, right? People,
exactly.
They're different in the Alps. Everything's got a slightly different look to it.
Or was that like
a parade?
Were those there before, and that there was this world trading, traveling civilization, and that was like your embassy?
Yeah. Yes, this is the thing, right? And we know the easiest to point to is the Chinese. There's a Chinatown in everywhere, right? Every city pretty much has a Chinatown. And when you look into it, they were pretty much the first thing they were always there. And so we see other things, right? We see like the Greco-Romano stuff everywhere. We see other things that you might call Chinese everywhere. Yeah. So are they just
as well as the Moorish,
either
right?
embassies, or are they just Moorish as well? So was this without embassies? Was it different kind of tech? But definitely it wasn't revival, periods. It wasn't people looking around going, oh, let's just build like buildings like that country and then it'll be a revival. And this again, right, these Australian pictures, everything's perfect. And then you get a picture like this. It's just got unmowed grass around it, and it's just this crappy little fence.
That's the new America building. That's all America could muster. Like, America built this entire World's Fair grandeur thing, and then that's all it could do for its own building.
Yeah, so Tennessee, man, I would be annoyed. Where's St. Louis? Missouri, isn't it? St. Louis, not Tennessee. Tennessee is a state, yes. Cowboys introduced, right? The whole Western theme, and of course, looking like they got feathers and stuff. Cowboys and Indians. There's a picture later on of Teddy Roosevelt. This is Alps again to make people. The first steam trains. All right, built for the World's Fair, apparently. Or at least shown off there. Look what it's sitting on, man. They built this so they could spin it around and show people.
Just crazy.
The Chinese. This is where the US went wrong. Chinese government pavilion. They were making balloons in there, man. Jeez. more parades, more water, more statues. Just yeah, not all these pictures came through.
canals are
So
like nuts.
look at that. Just for scale.
The canal cities.
Again. Christian Endeavor Hotel. That's a very small hotel. I mean, look at these obelisks, man. They're huge. Look at them. That's like the ones in the Vatican. Philippines, man, they got ripped off. They only got a small building. And look how old this looks. Look at all this.
How aged it is.
Now, right? See all this aging on it. But brand new. Oh, gliders. First glider, World's Fair, 1904. So some of the pictures I wanted to show didn't come through, bugger. But yeah, I had one where it was a construction photo. I'll have to change the format of them. Of the canals, it said, and they were literally building the edge of the canals out of wood, planks of wood. And that was trying to say that was and you see all the canals, and they're clearly, it's all masonry, and they're all these perfectly straight. But I mean, like, yeah, planks of wood that's going to hold the water for a canal in, right? It's just dumbness. 416 of you watching. Thank you all for being here.
So supposedly this is one of the Siberian pyramids, or pyramid from Siberia, Pyramid Mountain, and looks almost identical to the Grand Canyon ones. And like for amount of erosion, aging, Siberia. So the old Tartaria area.
Siberia.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, that's like someone said before. Yeah, that's maybe one of these pyramids that we see on the maps, right?
Could well be. That's what I want to find out, is where exactly these came from and how similar they are, and look into the Tartarian pyramids with Luke. I'll arrange that here for us sometime this week.
There.
Right? Like, look at the size of this. Just absolutely nuts. Oh, we made this giant thing and then we cracked it.
What cracked it?
And that the obelisks used to also have these on them.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before.
Right? That adds a little bit
cool.
More of a dimension of antiquitech to them.
Thank you, Donato from Brazil. Can you repost? Yes, please do. Please feel, yes, that would be awesome. We would love you to repost subtitles. Get it out there. Please do. And thank you for your support. From Brazil.
Amazing.
That's the thing. These shows got people from all continents, all countries. Wow. Is that a UFO in the foreground?
Oh, what?
What's that white thing? What's that?
I am not sure.
That doesn't look attached to any. Oh, hang on. No, hang on.
Is it a roof?
It might be on the ground, like laid out flat. I think it's on the ground. I think it's more of an optical illusion. I don't know. It's hard to say though, because it looks like it's.
It is.
That tower to the side, it looks too high to be on the ground. That's weird.
That's very strange.
The size of that bloody center.
Germany.
Oh, this is Dresden. Oh, God. Okay. It's a UFO. This must be just before Dresden got destroyed.
Right? Could be. Like, that is one strange, weird anomaly. Good eye camera.
Yeah, I think it is in the air now. I don't think it is on the. It's not in front of that
Like-
tower, so it's not on the ground.
Yeah, like look at this, the depth. It quite well could be in the air. Oops. That's strange, very strange. We'll have to revisit that. And good old Quebec, Canada. Apparently, there's an identical one in Japan.
Yeah. It's not the one from Disneyland, is it?
It may be Japanese Disneyland. I'm not sure.
Mm. There's one that's fairly similar to it there, yeah. Oh, building a starfort. That was a starfort construction photo.
That
I saw a
was
starfort and someone pushing a wheelbarrow.
supposedly. Look at this is pretty
Clearly, come on,
pyramidal
there's
as
a
well.
Very good point.
Very pyramidal.
I mean, so the more we get into it, it looks like everything was just emulating the natural, you know, the natural energies and stuff down here.
Like, what the heck is this?
What? Oh, hang on. Are they heads in there or are they faces?
Maybe. Could be, but one giant light at the top.
Even so white. And then the fleur-de-lis at the top.
Radiating. Oh, good old Nazca. Just the top of a mountain range. Giant landing zone. Nothing to see here.
Completely flattened off. Just flattened off, perfectly level.
Like all of this.
That's easy to
here,
do. Just cut the top off.
Clearly an old air base or airport. Like, where these buildings, hangars, like weird. Very, very fascinating. Oh, we got this guy.
Oh, wow.
Look at this up here.
Wow. That is cool.
Aha. More antiquitech from the halls.
Ah,
The
look at
World's
that
Fair.
metal ring thing. Oh, yep, those two. Yeah. God, that's such tech.
And it's in the industry section. Like it, why would they just put these ornaments if they were just ornaments in the industry, like production mechanic section? It just doesn't make sense.
So they've probably got all that kind of tech and they're using it, just showing it off. Yeah,
Exactly.
antennas and
Another
what's
Russian
that?
pyramids, supposedly some more Siberian Russian pyramids. So this could also be those Tartar pyramid area. Like this, we gotta get Luke on and do an episode just looking on Google Maps for these and overlaying those older maps because
Yeah,
just
for sure.
fascinating.
Thank you very much. And everyone who has been supporting us today. And of course, you know, you don't have to spend money. You can share around, like, subscribe, leave us a comment. It all helps.
Everything.
And you'll also find links below if you do want to support us.
Oh, stories of some
Cool books
giants
down there. Mm.
Why would they make that? It looks more machine-like than anything
Oh, wow.
during
Look
the
at the
war.
front. What's going on there? Massive car crash. Holy dooly.
I'm guessing that's World War One or World War Two picture, photo, something. Supposedly.
Mm.
Oh, the giant books.
Ah. Giant books.
I believe
That's is that Angkor?
I believe so, yeah. I believe that is Angkor Wat, or the
Angkor
one right
Wat.
by it.
Yeah, because there's another one, yeah, that's very close and basically identical.
Macro computer chip looking.
Yep. Exactly right. And this is
This one where
the
the
area.
Caspian Sea is the same size as it is today, but Tartaria seems to be all of the Asia. Oh, we got a giant Amazonian queen woman.
Giant, yeah, giantess. And a husband who definitely does what he's told. And he gets backhanded. Oh no, that's not Montchilier. It's Paris indeed, guy.
Off the coast of Cuba, under, I believe, 2 miles deep or something ridiculous.
Pretty deep, yeah, out near the Bimini Road there. So this is, someone found that looks like a cell phone.
Very
Is
strange.
that the Batman signal? Very strange. Cuneiform, right? And we have seen those pictures, and who knows if they're real, but of the ones, the like a Sumerian ones where they got like a laptop and a tablet, and there's one with a laptop and it's literally got a cord out of it. It's just like, oh, hang on, what is that? Yeah, big dudes, right? From the north. And he's fairly large.
Well, these tall wizards. Oh, some more pyramids
so they were
found, and I believe this is in Brazil that still haven't even been discovered or like visited. Just through GPS discovered in the Amazon. Some old mine.
Oh.
These are water holes, underground built.
Wow.
Are from the time of Nazca.
Oh, wow, okay. So they're catching rain and taking it down into aquifers.
It's what the system goes all the way up to the mountains, and it's spring water from the mountains that they have going all the way down.
So it's bringing it down. Okay. Oh, and people can access it through those holes properly.
Yeah, and it's underground to prevent the evaporation of it.
Clever. I wonder if that's what the stepwells of India are.
Could well be. And is this
connected
last
up underground to like a source of water?
Type of Tartarian right here.
That's Tartarian Princess Leia.
Indeed.
Or Leia, sorry, for Americans.
Very interesting.
What are the knobbly bits?
Right?
Right.
And look at this. This is a fractal ray antenna, but it fits into a box. Like, what? Was this a radio telephone or what?
People have seen the picture of the cathedral floor with that exact pattern on it.
Exactly. And it's from a very old book. What the heck was...
That is very old. That's like 1500s, man.
Very strange.
Coneheads. Now that's a good shot. See how it's standing on that big base, that big foundation? There's a couple where you can kind of see a bit of the foundation like that under them. I'm wondering if they've all got that, if they're all built on these massive foundations, which would mean, you know, that would account for the levels we find everywhere.
Quite possible, right? Like,
because I mean, we've talked about, you know, that tower in the middle, you know, how much of a foundation do you need underneath it so it doesn't, you know, fall through the rest of the building and destroy it? And it'd be something like what's underneath it, something huge.
Exactly. I think you're right on that, that most of them have a huge, huge base underneath. Like, very interesting. And then, no, we've got more pyramids or pyramid caps, random places sticking out.
Random. So, and we were looking at pyramids a few weeks ago, and the fact they all generate different energies with different qualities depending on the angles of the edges taken from the top apex, don't they? And the Russians have done a lot of experimenting with it. And, you know, so were the little ones, were they literally made? Were they some kind of energy source and you just have one for each kind of region? You could just go and use it, or a healing stone, or who knows, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
And this, one can't help but wonder if it's not geopolymer, probably is geopolymer, or melted building.
Could be just poured on, yeah.
One or the other, all around the
They definitely have that melted look. Yeah.
Interesting. Sigils and alchemy symbols look more like electrical frequencies and information. Whoa, what is this?
Oh, Italy. Yeah, man, look at that bottom layer. That's where you can almost see like the sort of cyclopean top of the bottom building, and they've built another one on top of it.
Yeah. Wow.
And what they're top is obviously very old as well. But yeah, look at that, right?
Very strange. That's your best evidence of reset, no doubt.
I would like to hear the explanation for that. Of course, this is all over the place.
Brick layers.
Being reported more and more. They dig down, they're just finding stuff everywhere. People are finding basements in their houses they didn't know they had. And like rooms and stuff behind walls, and of course every time they do a government work they find something underground. Oh, look at that. Do you know what I think caused that? That's clearly been carved by a river.
Yes, definitely, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Also very pyramidal in structure.
And the story again for this is hand carved from the top down.
Like that.
Top down. I mean, just think about that. The top down. As they're carving down, they have to know what they're going to be building underneath. Like you can't build from the top down. That doesn't make sense.
And the amount of
not
work,
to mention the fact for the engineering, like, and by the time you got to the bottom, you'd have to have made it so it actually stood up. But I mean, yeah, carved, right? Carved with spoons, and all the stuff was taken away on magical horse and cart. Ah, that's St. Petersburg.
Oh, yes, and it's showing you the depth of this layer being this height, and well, where's this?
Did you draw that in, or
underground?
Yeah,
I did
cool.
not know it came like that.
Very good.
Very
Someone's
good.
gone to the work that I. Yeah, because it just shows you, like, yeah, those exactly. Right.
They love to build.
That's one thing about these buildings is they're always. Yeah, they're always so symmetrical. The windows are the same height. They're, you know, so it's easy to work stuff like that out.
Yeah, just why and top heavy too. Like, why the bottom like this? No, it's half buried, guaranteed. Ooh, what do we have here? Interesting language, symbols, runic, maybe. Not sure. Gonna have to look more into that one. That's a fascinating tablet.
Wow. What is that? Oh, we've got the flowers, the watches.
2 lions or with wings. Very interesting. Oh, the Ring of Star Forts too. 1 star fort, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From the main Russian city. Got a.
Yeah, not just star forts. And that's the other thing, you know, all these people spend all this time trying to explain 1 star fort away, and then you go, well, there's actually rings of them around as well. Explain that, and the walled cities. Oh, where's that? Is that in Florida?
Interesting. Siberian petroglyph. Looks like a SpaceX rocket.
What did the tablet say? Wow, more Proto-Sumerian. That looks like from what's his name's collection? Donna, class Donna. Oh wow, look, is that Basil's?
Sorry.
Oh man.
Yeah, right there.
St. Basil.
Inside the
Kremlin. Look at the size of that boulevard or whatever you call it. That, like, it's
Red Square.
It's just plonked in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a lot of space. And then a bit of brutalism in the background.
Exactly,
that's a big building too, that thing in the background.
This ancient site with crazy big metal gears in it.
Oh man. Yep.
Really megalithic.
Ancient factories.
Golden tablet, but is it like today's smart tablets?
They're just apps in the old world, man.
Could be.
Oh wow, man. You see those things drawn everywhere in the old pictures, don't you?
Yeah, and they were supposedly some weapon. Like, well, clearly it's an energy weapon.
It looks like a weapon, man. Looks very electrical, like spark gaps at the end.
Exactly.
That's probably not the full weapon, but
part of it somehow. And then look at what the heck is this? Electrical sword.
I mean, what the hell is that? It's definitely, it's not a sword.
Huh.
Like, what?
Not gonna pierce you with the swords.
Pointy ends. Oh, one's a spoon. And the top of that, like very crown-like.
Very fascinating. Oh yeah, and then we just bombed this valley full of these giant bowls during the Vietnam and Korean Wars.
Nice day for bowling.
Right? Like, who built them and why?
What was that? Yeah.
There's supposedly
Giant
just
plant or
valleys
something.
filled with these things, and giant jars as well, the bowls and the jars.
Yeah. There's still a valley of jars in France. The Jed. The Jed. Ooh. The Jedi.
Pretty big, Jed.
The big Jedi.
And that's like, they're just staring at it. Like,
Clearly
what the
just a
heck is
statue
it?
built for God.
They're just as confused
Looks
as we
like
are.
a laser or something, doesn't it? Turn it on and shit can be a laser out the top.
Exactly. Like, got to be summoning, beaming somewhere with that.
Or
Another buried star fort along our wall. Oh, it's a parking lot, not water. Just the terraforming that went into this is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Never...
well, what we saw at the start of this video, like, you can imagine what's underneath all that dirt, right? It's clearly,
Yeah.
it's half, it's more than half covered still.
Exactly.
Ah, the Anu. Oh, that's a nice antenna.
Indeed. Like, how much of this
pointer?
one
I think that one's in
too?
Pakistan. Yeah, exactly right. All of them. You know, we're always talking when we see the old books, you know, there's always a bloody hill, right, with a citadel poking out the top of it. Palmova, is that right? This one?
I'm not sure what's the name of
Palmova?
this one. I'm like all dried out now.
All dried up and clearly more of it under the ground.
They're saying this is also a pyramid.
That is, of course, a scooper. Very, very pyramid-ish. Are they calling it a pyramid? They are calling it a pyramid.
They are, apparently.
Well, I think stupas actually have like a dome, don't they?
Yeah.
And that sort of doesn't. Definitely sort of looks what we're told is Thai kind of thing. Oh, they're flags. I thought they were
What
spikes.
is the purpose of this?
What is that a wagon of some kind?
Yeah, apparently, I think
Is it
an
on wheels?
elephant.
That's not the rock one, is it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like there's excuse me, there's one in India.
Yeah, it's carved out of rock.
Like a wagon, and it's rock. Yeah, it's rock. It's got the wheels, it's fully working and everything. But it's rock. It does work if you could move it. Not it's working. It doesn't have an engine. But apparently, you know, it is rock, so it will roll. Can't have rock without roll, mate. Ooh. That China? Forbidden
Yeah,
City?
I believe this is the Forbidden City in China.
And of course, very, very, very similar to what we saw. Yeah, you say it. Identical to what? You say it. He's lost the word. Starts with a... Now I've lost it. Starts with a K, doesn't it? We just looked at it. God.
Every time. Every time.
The one in
I actually remember the
Indonesia.
name. Yes.
We did remember the
Anywho,
first time.
identical
Come on.
to the other
Don't
one.
keep us in suspenders, people in chat. Tell us, what do we think? What's the big one? Oh, God. In Thailand. Oh, God. It does start with a K. Don't you hate it? And then you got to forget what you're thinking about, and then you remember it.
Oh, well.
But yes, it looks the same anyway. We know what we're talking about.
There's more Protoss in there.
Are they star signs? Scorpio, Leo. Yeah, that looks technical, doesn't it? Technological. And look at that pattern there. But on the right hand side is exactly the same as the one in that Sumerian. See the sun on the right? That one. It's a cymatic pattern, and it's exactly the same as the one that's on the wheel of that Sumerian glyph where the giant's sitting down and it's got the smaller people.
Exactly. The heck is this one? Is this not the same place? No, that one's a little different.
No one's come up with the name yet.
It'll come back to me. Another star fort along the star wall. Here's the star wall again, and one of these remaining forts, either in Ukraine or Russia. I'm not sure where, but
I've got it.
It's a Great Wall. Angkor Wat. There we go.
Angkor Wat.
It came back to me. And
wow, what's that? The Great Wall of Fairyland,
right? Like this looks like a Siberian Great Wall. I think there might actually be. This isn't Great Wall of China.
No, definitely not. And that's the thing. It's like the pyramids, right? There's actually more Great Walls. They only just tell you about the Chinese one. There's one in
India as well. India?
Next to India. What's that? What's next to India with the B?
Bangladesh.
No, P. Pakistan. That's what I'm thinking.
Pakistan.
Or maybe it was Bangladesh. One of those. Probably one in each country.
Probably both.
Wow. Look at the drainage system in the ground there.
Yeah. Very good.
Look at that.
Like horse and buggy. Like, why would you have built this during horse and buggy? Like, what? They didn't. Got some bicycles. Right. Like, what? No, these people didn't build that.
Turn of the century, but look at the size of that thing.
They found this thing in disarray and rebuilt it, I guess.
Oh, that's Gordy. Is that right?
Madrid, Spain? Yeah.
Wow. And they've been working on that how long? 50 years or something?
Yeah, something like
more. Oh.
Yeah, it's just a massive tower skyscraper that fell.
It looks like it's back in the 1600s or something. I mean, looks like they got hit by something. Right? Oh, there's someone up there waving to us.
So, yeah, a couple guys up here checking it out. The ladder they got up to get up there. Look at that sketchy ladder.
Wow, that's a big ladder.
At least 10 stories. Probably more. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sure.
Wow. I wonder what that is. Does Zappy somewhere? It looks like you get into like a pneumatic, you know, you step into
Yeah,
like
like a tunnel system,
little
right?
tube
Yeah.
shoot through a pneumatic. Yeah. Oh, Lucas, how you going? Welcome. Aussie King. Of course, did a show with us a few weeks ago, and go check out his channel if you haven't
Yeah, we're
already.
gonna have to do another.
Mm.
Another one
My
of these
God.
things on giant wheels.
They must be stone wheels, otherwise it couldn't wait, right? But yeah, that's another one. What's with the stone? What's going? You know, I think I'm getting a new theory. I don't think there was any cataclysm. I think the giants just had really good weed and everyone got stoned.
The tartar with the long neck, apparently. Long-necked tartars.
Yep. He put his neck out for you. He'd always be there beside you, sticking his neck out. And you know, that's the thing. We have the Thai tribe that elongate their necks as well, right? Like, are they emulating? You know?
Yeah, the gods, right?
Long neck.
Emulating someone.
Yeah, and there's dogs that go. Look at that, man. I dug that one out well.
Is this Angkor Wat? No, this is something else.
No, that's India, that one, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, it's basically this, right?
Very similar. Oh yeah, nothing to see here. Just like a pond and its own. We built this recently. Oh wait, no. There's a whole other layer
underneath.
The main entrance underneath that.
That one's in the US.
Yeah, and this one is in the US.
Yeah, so US built, you know, built half underground and then covered up so they could rediscover it a couple of hundred years later, obviously. St. Mary's, I can't remember what city that one is.
I know it's in the US. Yeah, right on that.
Oh, what? No way. That's
one of those stone wheels from one of those things.
That's well made with that square in it.
Yeah. Good point.
Definitely part of a machine.
Just so much.
Either that or it's that UFO we saw before that's crashed.
Look at this guy shooting with the trident, shooting electricity out of his trident.
Ah, shooting. Wow, look at that.
Pew.
So there you go. So this is the thing. Of course, the official explanation is it's all fireworks, even though this looks European and fireworks is both China and but yeah, like it all looks like it's coming from devices, doesn't it? And swords and tridents and things. And look, there's one of those pyramids that we saw in the building, covered in bloody balls. That's what we saw in World's Fair, man. Like, what's going on here? Trident, of course, looking like a tuning fork. There you go, Indian stepwell. And of course, they're called stepwells because if you don't step well, you just go roll all the way down and go splash
into the well.
Into the well. There you go. Oh, that's a nice one. I need that. That's what I was trying to show the other day in one of my videos.
You have to look into this book.
The Godas, man. Vladimir Shilkin.
Yes.
Ah,
all right. I guess.
So he's saying that antenna might be. Sorry. Look at that antenna, like those fractal antennas. You say he was showing them as cymatic patterns, which I hadn't thought of. But there we go. So yes, we have hit the 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 42 seconds. And of course, 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So we got to the end and we discovered it, and you now have the keys to the life, the universe, and everything.
Indeed. And
job well done.
I got the Arthur Farham book of the geoglyphs. So I am going to be going deep further into the geoglyphology and all of it coming up very soon.
Cool. So I have to do a bit of live mapping on the old Googles of Earths and start lining all these different anomalies, and of course proving that they're not anomalies, right? They're all on part of the same circuit.
Indeed, absolutely. On the next one, we will get a little bit more with. We got to get Michelle. I will get Michelle Gibson back within 2 weeks. I promise.
Yeah,
I'm going to email her as soon as
next week.
Done here.
Hopefully, Ben.
Yes,
waking up with analog.
We do have Ben
getting that next week, so make sure you join us. We will be live on a Tuesday. We're so bad about getting the lives up apart like an hour before we go live. So we'll try and get them up a few days. It'll be better a few days before. But thank you for finding us. 377 of you still watching. Yes, so thank you for being here with us. Have an amazing day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And we will talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.